What is an important sales lesson that you must know and understand in order to be a closer in sales and to be exceptional at what you do? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you being a closer on video number 1,850 on this YouTube channel. So I got a few videos. So here's the thing that you need to know. Whatever sales lesson that you need for you to be better at sales is the one that you're going to get from your clients. And you're like, Scott, what does that mean? Okay, so let's just start from the very beginning. Let's start right here at the very beginning of your sales process. Let's say that you're having a problem building rapport. That's the lesson that you need. Okay, next step. You're in your question or your discovery phase and you're struggling with that. That's going to be the next area that you're going to have struggles with that sales is going to teach you. You need to be better at this. And then you've got your presentation. That's the third thing. So you go through your presentation, there's problems with your presentation, there's something that's going wrong with it. Sales is going to teach you that. It's going to be very evident where you struggle. And you know what happens is when we do stuff in our own personal lives, we struggle with looking around going, what's the problem? This is why you need a good sales coach, a good mentor, or a manager to ride with you, and also for you to videotape your presentations and see what your interactions are, because you're gonna catch what the problem is. You're gonna see what the issue is. Okay, so we start at the beginning. You got rapport, and salespeople sometimes go overboard, so that could be the problem. Second thing, you got discovery phase. If you just rapid fire questions to your buyer and just try to throw stuff out there, and it doesn't seem like you care, and it's just an event, you're gonna have problems. So then go in your presentation. It's not a sales call; it's a performance. Okay? It's not a sales call, it's a performance. You have to understand this. There are theatrics in sales. There are things that people look at and they're like, well, Scott, I don't want to have to do certain things to make a sale happen, okay? So I'm going to tell you two stories, and these are very relevant. I live in Sacramento most of the year, and a lot of people love to go deep sea fishing, okay? So first story, this weekend I drove to San Francisco. It was an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and I went deep sea fishing. Not interesting, no tension, nothing engaged, okay? Next up, last weekend I woke up at 3 in the morning to go drive to San Francisco. We were going to go deep sea fishing, and my buddies, they wanted to go too, but they stayed up all night drinking. And so I get to their house at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they are crazy drunk. They're silly drunk. They start to fight. It takes a while to get them in the car. Then once we get in the car, we're driving to San Francisco, we get a flat tire. And then they start pushing and shoving on the side of the road, and the police catch them, and we have to finagle our way to get out of it. By the time that we get to the dock, the boat is just pulling away, but they're able to get us on. It's just last second. So we go out there, the waves are crazy, the waves are ridiculous, and there's some people on the boat that are struggling to keep everything down. It's just not working, and nobody's catching fish. And we're about to turn around at the end of the day, and what happened was one of the guys said, hey, look, I look on the sonar, there's some fish over here, we should go after the fish that are over here. So we throw out our lines, and I snag a fish. And so I'm sitting in the chair, and time goes by, 10 minutes. I'm letting line in, I'm letting line out, I'm letting line in, I'm letting line out. The captain's yelling at me and cheering for me, the deckhands are cheering for me, and 15 minutes turns into 30 minutes, and 30 minutes turns into 45 minutes, and 45 minutes turns into an hour. There's a point where one of the deckhands comes over and starts massaging my backs because, my muscles are getting sore. And, just when I think it feels like that fish is gone, oh, nope, he's still there. And I'm reeling this fish in, I'm reeling this fish in, I'm reeling this fish in, and just before I get it to the boat, I see a dorsal fin, or I see a fin from a shark. I see a shark coming, and it is just about to get my fish before we get it in the boat, and bites the tail off the fish, okay? So there's elements to a story that keep people engaged, and a lot of times salespeople, what happens is they want to tell the story of, I went fishing in San Francisco last weekend, because they don't want to have to go through a sales presentation. They don't want to have to understand that it's not a sales call, it's a performance, okay? So you need some tension, you need some stories, you need some events, but you have to do this the right way, okay? So we've got rapport, we've got discovery phase, we've got presentation, then we got, going over the money, and a lot of times salespeople are scared to do that, and then we've got the close. So there's a whole progression of the sales call that salespeople struggle with, and if you're paying attention to it, if you have somebody around, or because you've watched this video now you know. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to leave a note right now, just in the box. What are you struggling with as the biggest phase of your sales presentation? Is it the rapport? Are you building too much rapport? Is it the is it discovery phase where you're just rapid firing asking questions and you're treating it like an event? and not really engaging with the buyer? Are you having problems with your presentation? Is that a struggle you're facing? I mean, put it in the box. Are you having a problem? Are you scared of price? Are you struggling with rolling price? You know, that happens to a lot of salespeople, especially if you don't have the money in your own bank account to buy the product or service. You know, you can start thinking, well, you know, what about me? And you know, people buy how they sell, or people sell how they buy. You have to understand that your buying style, my personal buying style, affects my selling style if I'm not paying attention, right? So you got to know that, all right? Does it come down to you're struggling with the money, you're struggling with the presentation? I'm going to give you the best sales advice or the best sales tip that you're going to get. Role play it at 10 times the amount or 100 times the amount of what your normal product is. So here's the thing. If your product is $10,000, you should be role playing it at $100,000 or $1 million to get used to talking about big numbers, because that's really going to help you out. And are you struggling with the close? Now, a lot of times when you're looking for the sales lesson, it does pop up, because I have ridden with so many salespeople that they go to sell the product and they're like, here, buyer, I've got this product. You should check it out. It's really good. It's $10,000. And the buyer in their mind, they're like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? I don't know the answer to give you. I don't know. And so the salesperson forgets to give the next step, right? Now, if you ever watch infomercials are a cool thing for you to watch if you're a salesperson, right? Because they really do help you out. And so if you watch infomercials, one of the things they talk about is it's really easy. Like, nobody wants something complicated. Like, can you give me a complicated sales process? No, I don't want that. Can you give me an easy sales process? I would love that. I will take that all day long, okay? So whatever lesson that you need in sales is the one that's going to be presented for you. And I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons why most salespeople fail, and one of the most common problems salespeople face, is they're not paying attention to what's going on. They look around and like, why me? How come I'm not selling? And then, you know, someone will say something, they'll say like, you're struggling with this. Well, that's not the answer that I wanted to hear, so I'm not going to take your advice and I'm not going to believe it, right? So if you're struggling anywhere in the sales process, just know you could be creating your own sales sabotage. Just know that you could be creating your own sales problems by not paying attention that whatever lesson you need in sales is the one that you're going to get on your next sales call. So this is the reason why you need to have a sales journal. This is the reason why you got to take some notes. This is the reason why you have to be real about the conversation. So like if you have a sales journal, put a note down in the box below. Say, yeah, I've got a sales journal. If you don't, look, here's the thing. Go to like an office supply house, okay? And I'm going to tell you one of the coolest things you could do for about $8 or $9 is go buy a hardbound journal. If you don't have the money, go buy the $1, steno pad, this yellow pad, like the legal pad that you can flip over. That's cool for right now, okay? But if you got $8 or $9, for real, $8 or $9, the cost of a okay lunch at a drive-up window, go buy a sales journal and create this and start thinking of the struggles that you're having. So when you sit down with a sales coach, when you sit down with a sales mentor, when you sit down with your boss or a manager, and they can go, hey, I'm looking at your numbers, they're not good. What's going on? And you can say, hey, look, aha, I've got a sales journal. I've been taking really good notes. It's going to show that boss or that manager that you're engaged and you really care about your job and that you want things to be done the right way, okay? So the sales lesson that you need is the one that you're going to get in every sales call if you pay attention. Actually say, when you pay attention. When you pay attention, you are going to get the sales lesson you need. You're going to hear the things that you need to hear. You're going to have somebody coach you the way that you need to be coached. But one thing you have to understand is sometimes you may think it's one sales lesson and it's another. Or it's combined. There's two of them or sometimes three of them. This is why you need to get a really good coach, sales trainer, sales mentor, good sales manager to have this conversation. And you know what? Sometimes I'm going to give you a super secret sales tip. You're going to have to pay for it, okay? You know, you can't always expect somebody to invest in your own life. You can't always expect someone to invest in your life without you investing in it yourself, okay? So video number 1,850 here on my YouTube channel. I've got a few of them, right? A few videos. The sales lesson that you need is the sales lesson that you're going to get. So you had two assignments. Where do you struggle in your sales process? Put it in the box. And, you know, do you have a sales journal? Just put some information in there. I would really appreciate it. So you've got one thing to do if this is the first time you've ever watched any of my videos. Just one thing. Find the subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button. And what's going to happen is every time I send out content, you're going to get an update. Be like, Scott, Sylvan Bell sent out a video. You should watch it. Which you should, because that would be awesome. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.